Gaza, the security there cannot be given up to foreign entities. What is your take right now on the future of Gaza and how you ensure that what happened on October 7 never, ever happens again?
Well, I think we're well on the way to do that. I won't relinquish Israel's security to anyone. The overriding security control of Gaza will remain in Israel's hands. It must. It's so close. I mean, it's like spitting distance from Tel Aviv. We're not going to let anybody build resurgent terrorist cells there because we decimated Hamas. There's still work to be done there to disarm them and to demilitarize Gaza. It's part of President Trump's peace plan, an integral part, I would say essential part. And we'll have to move into that as we now approach phase one, completing phase one of releasing and returning all the hostages. We'll move into that. But Israel will retain overriding security responsibility because we don't farm out our security to anyone else, not in Gaza or not in any other front.
For your reaction to it. It's on the Axios news site and it says, Scoop, Israel seeks 20-year military aid deal with US with America first tweaks. Is that correct?
I don't know what they're talking about. My direction is the exact opposite. When I first became prime minister in 1996, I went to the U.S. Congress and we were receiving financial aid and military aid. And I said, the first thing is, we're going to build a high-tech, free market capitalist economy. We don't need the financial aid. Phase it out.
This pisses me off. They stripped tables.
Gasped. How dare he, this young prime minister eager for a PR title. He's giving up billions of dollars. And I was happy to do it, and I was right to do it. So we got rid of that. Now I want to make our arms industry independent, totally as independent as possible. So my direction is the exact opposite. I don't know who's talking for Israel. I do. So follow what I say, not what is put forward in some leaks that are not true.
Do you think it's time to cut military aid entirely from the US?
I think it's time to assure that Israel is independent. Understand that our military aid is like a fraction, a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of what the U.S. spent in Afghanistan or spent in, in the Middle East. It's tiny. But, I think that we have a very strong economy. We have a very strong arms industry. And it's true that even though we get what we get, which we appreciate, 80% of that is spent in the United States. So it produces jobs in the United States. But nevertheless, I'd like to see a much more independent Israeli, and even more independent Israeli defense industry. And remember that Israel doesn't ask others to fight for us. Israel is the one American ally in the world that says, we need boots on the ground. We don't need American servicemen fighting, on the ground for Israel or around Israel. We're fine. We fight our own battles, but in doing so, we also serve important American interests, like preventing countries that chant death to America from having nuclear bombs to throw at America, and so on. So my direction is independence. My direction is not greater dependence. My direction is greater independence. And I'll probably have something to say about that very soon.
What's a realistic timeline for that?
Oh, I think we're already we're already going there. In fact, this afternoon I'm having a very important meeting exactly on this subject. How do we plan for the next 5 years and the next decade in making sure that Israel is as fully independent as possible? So that's the direction. It's I don't know where the Axios leaks come from, but it certainly didn't come from me.
Prime Minister, President Trump put in an official request to your president for a pardon with your corruption trial that's been going on for a fair while now. What is your reaction to that, and would you accept a pardon if it were to be offered to you?
Well, look, I'll think about it, but I'm very grateful to President Trump for being so forthright. He just cuts to the chase. He tells it like it is. I mean, this trial is so absurd. I spent 3 days a week, can you imagine this? Running a war and now seeking to expand the peace.
Here are 3 signs that your child does not know how to study effectively, holding them back from reaching their potential in school. The first sign, regular late night work, whether it be finishing assignments or preparing for a test.
Days a week in a court, talking about why my son Yair, who was on your show, but when he was 5 years old, received a Bugs Bunny doll. That's a terrible bribe. Or how I received some cigars from a friend. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. It's falling apart. The mainstream news media have stopped covering it because it's so, embarrassing to the prosecution. And President Trump basically called it a politicized and unjust witch hunt, which it is. It's not the last thing. But the important thing is I think it hurts both American and Israeli interests, which is also what he said. My time has to be free to pursue the things that will determine Israel's future and the future of peace in the Middle East. So the thing is, it's absurd, and these absurdities should end, and I appreciate the fact that he said it like it is. As far as my answer, yeah, I'll think about it.
What do you say to people who say that if you do accept it, it means that you're not innocent of what you're being accused of?
Well, that's not going to happen. Nobody suggests that that's what I'll do, and I certainly won't do that. That's not going to happen.
Prime Minister, I want to read you a quote from a group chat that I'm in that someone said off the back of this letter being published. And they said, Trump is the best thing to happen to Israel and the Jewish people since Moses. Would you agree with that assessment?
I would say since maybe Cyrus,
Okay. I want to ask you about the new mayor of New York City, Mamdani, who said very robustly and confidently that he would arrest you should you step foot in New York City. He's softened that stance a little bit over the last, say, 12 hours, saying, well, foreign leaders can travel wherever they like. Are you afraid now of going to New York City? Will you not go because of that fear, even though really he's got no means to back that up?
The answer is no, I'm not afraid. And the answer is what do you want me to say about Mamdani? I mean, what about him? Ask me, you want me to give you opinions about him? I can tell you that I reformed the Israeli economy. It wasn't quite socialist, but it was semi-socialist, and it was hitting rock bottom. So I introduced something called free markets, or as it's commonly known, capitalism. And everything soared up. Israel became a global high-tech power. Tel Aviv now is the skyline changed. We had one skyscraper 20 years ago. Now we have a forest of them. And you know what? Inequality went down because people joined the job market. So everybody's income rose, and the disparity between the rich and the poor actually declined sharply. So socialism doesn't work. It's a good line that brings you right deep into into a hole, and it's very hard to dig out from under. I think that's one problem for the people of New York, the residents of New York. The other one is that anti-Semitism usually collapses societies. It's not usually, always collapses societies, because it starts with the Jews, and then it goes to the blacks, and then it goes to the gays, and then it goes to the Hispanics and so on. And you just collapse societies. So if that's the future of New York, I think New York has a very dim future, and usually people shake out of it. But what I found in reforming the Israeli economy is that it's very hard to do. It's very, very hard to do. We did it, and we did it with amazing success, and Israel is now one of the greatest. I think our stock market is growing faster than any other stock market in the world.